There are so many reasons why we don't have the time, space, or energy for creativity in our lives. And I have come to realize that making time for creativity is as essential to me as wearing clothes in public. When I think of the importance of creativity, I think of Gabor Mate's words when he said that everyone has the urge to create. Its expression may flow through many channels, through writing, art, or music, or through the inventiveness of work, or in any number of ways unique to us all. Whether it be cooking or gardening or the art of social discourse, the point is to honor the urge. To do so is healing for ourselves and for others. Not to do so deadens our bodies and our spirits. Wow, wow, wow. His words remind me that creativity is accessible to us all and can come in many different forms, and that the honoring of it in our lives is so critical. There are many benefits to creativity. Some benefits include reduces stress, improves mood, builds community, offers a break from routine. A few benefits of creativity for me are that when I'm acting or doing improv or writing or making videos, I feel a sense of purpose. These activities nourish my soul. And sometimes when I'm able to access that divine creative flow, I feel connected not only to myself and others around me, but to spirit, God, source, whatever you want to call it. Now, saying all that, there are many challenges to making time for creativity. In all honesty, most of us could carve out an hour a week for creativity, but we don't. And we don't for many reasons. So I'm going to say that it's not actually making time that's the issue, it's a motivation to do so. So one of the challenges in getting the motivation to make time for creativity is that we don't recognize its value in our lives. We can clearly see the value of doing other things in our lives, such as dishes or spending time with our kids or going to the gym. But it might be harder for us to see the value that spending that extra time to make the kasha fancy would bring to our lives, or painting that flower pot, or creating that time to sign up for the pottery lesson. Taking notice of how it makes us feel and recognizing the value of that in our lives will help with the motivation to make the time in future. Another thing that can hinder motivation to make time for creativity is this notion of perfection, that we have to do the project perfectly. Now, I know not everybody has this challenge, but it's certainly been one for me. For me, perfection can be debilitating. With perfection as the goal, I accomplish nothing. I have had to build a relationship with good enough just even to get started on a project. So if perfection is an issue for you, then there are many ways to make friends with good enough. Another thing that can stop us from making time for creativity is what other people say and what they want us to do. You may have that elementary school teacher in your mind telling you from long ago how stupid you are and how terrible at art you are. Hopefully you don't. You may have your parents' voices in your mind telling you that art is frivolous and you should focus on more important things. You should be responsible. You may have a well-meaning spouse that teases you when you get creative and don't follow the recipe. All of these can inhibit our desire to create that sacred space for our creativity. So here are some practical tips for incorporating creativity into your life. Be intentional. Buy yourself a tiny canvas from the dollar store and create a date night for yourself on Friday night, or invite your family, or invite a friend. Put on some cool music. Be intentional and make a fun, artistic night together. Or if you like to bake, take an hour on Sunday, make sure that everybody knows that you have the kitchen, put on your favorite music, your favorite apron, and bake something you don't normally bake, just for the heck of it. If you own an adult coloring book, be intentional about stretching your imagination and your creativity. Use different colors or draw in different items. Do something you wouldn't normally do. Another practical tip for incorporating creativity into your life is to schedule it in. I've had to do this. Once I recognized how important creativity is for my mental health, I made sure that every Saturday it's my own creative time. That means on Fridays, I make sure that all my responsibilities are handled. My bills are paid, I've budgeted, the house is mostly clean. All those things that might be in my space when I go to create on Saturday morning are handled on Friday. So I know that when I wake up on Saturday morning, my morning is free to create whatever I want. You might not have a whole Saturday morning available to you. Maybe you have 5 minutes every morning, 15 minutes at night. Do what works for your life in order to carve out that special, sacred, creative time. Another practical tip is to create a structure or a ritual to get your creative juices flowing. So for me, every Saturday morning, I'll make sure my desk is clean, turn on my lava lamp. If I don't have a project that I'm working on, I might flip through Pinterest or meditate to see what inspires me for that morning. It's like I'm seducing my creative mind. So remember, one of the keys to creativity is to intentionally create space for it in your life. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear, what are you creating in the week? How are you making space for it? Or what are your challenges?